Okay, next on the citizen forum is Jillian Johnson.
Pass these out to y'all first.
Our citizen forum is supposed to last 30 minutes, so be mindful of your time, please. We'll call you back.
I just wanted to say a few things. I know I was not present at the law enforcement meeting on Monday. I had to go to a specialist in Dixon, which is why I wasn't there. But I know that there were some complaints made about the shelter. I believe that a few people had to do with and wrote it up. Some of them being, I'll go directly to just a few of them here because I know I don't have a lot of time. One of them was stating that I had set up an appointment with Dr. Bowley on a Saturday, and he was delayed in surgery with an emergency C-section, and a hunting dog breeder was in the waiting room. Jillian started cussing and chastising him, telling him that he was irresponsible. Dr. Bowley had to stop surgery and asked Jillian to leave his office. I have never been to Dr. Bowley's office, ever, at this point. So Dr. Bowley, that's this first letter on here that I wanted y'all to see. He wrote a letter in regards to this, and he said to whom it may concern, I wanted to clear up some facts about an event that happened in my Camden Animal Doctor vet clinic in April. I had scheduled a meeting with Tricia Crowley from the animal shelter, or that's what my receptionist informed me. After the workday was over, my son, who was working the front desk, informed me that a client was very rude to the lady waiting to see me. He had said some inappropriate things in front of a group of clients waiting in the waiting room. He told me that Tricia had left and told him that she would reschedule to see me at a different time when we weren't so busy. Jillian Johnson was in no way involved and not present. I was totally unaware of the entire situation until 3 hours later. It did not interrupt anything at the office, and I was unhappy with the comments of the dog breeder. I'm not sure where the incorrect information about this day came from, but my son, who is a junior at UT Martin and is not a regular receptionist, said only that it was somebody from the shelter. So his son thought that Tricia was from the shelter and it was me, but it was not, and he is stating that. Another thing in here, because I don't know if y'all have seen all these complaints or not, so I'm just going to make you aware of them.
Ms. Jillian, may I interrupt you for just a second?
Sure.
I apologize. You want me to tell you when it was 7 o'clock? Okay.
We told them that it was easy way.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, she has unlimited access to the law enforcement. She can discuss any of this and all of this.
This is a citizen's forum.
I want to talk about it now. Number 25 said that the board had asked Crystal, who was a previous ACO, and Jessica to go and train Jillian after she started, but she refused to listen to either one of them on how to operate the shelter and would tell them that it wouldn't work, even though it had worked that way for years at surrounding shelters. They gave up because she wouldn't listen and continues not to listen. Okay, I contacted Crystal about this. The second page is the email that Crystal Hamilton emailed me, because she could not be here tonight to speak on behalf of that. So she told me to read this to y'all, and y'all have a copy. It says, to who it may concern, last week I was sent a complaint that was made concerning me about Jillian Johnson. It stated that when she first came on as a director of the shelter, I was asked to come and train her. But she refused to listen on how to operate the shelter and told me that it wouldn't work, even though it had worked that way for years, which made me give up and leave. This is not true. I did come to help train, and I only stayed a few hours because I refused to stay there and listen to all of the drama from the formal board members, friends, and family. I went there to help and not be a part of the crap. I told Jillian when I left that day, good luck, the board is going to eat you alive. When I left that day, I blocked all members of the board from my phone and Facebook page. I've heard nothing but good things about Jillian from very reputable people. She has a very stressful job, and it's not a job that you leave in the afternoon and pick back up in the morning. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year job. The third one on here that I have stapled together, this is a letter that's actually from back in March of 2015, but this was right before I was hired. And this is an email that Joe had sent to the board, Joe Powell had sent to the board at the time, telling them how to vote and what to do to get certain people out of there, giving them all their directions on how to vote and everything. You can go through here and read it, and you can see how very much so involved he is in that. It even has his name on the very back. Even saying to, if you skip a beat, we all lose, stay strong and stand your ground. And the other one is something else concerning that page. Then when you get to, I think it's the fifth page with the yellow highlighter on it. This is a post that Mr. Joe Kyle has put up here recently about me on his Facebook page. And at the bottom here, after he goes on bashing me on here, he says, "My suggestion to the citizens of the county is that if anyone from the Benton County Animal Shelter shows up on your property, greet them at gunpoint and demand your property immediately, or they be prosecuted."
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to say this. This is like a soap opera. We don't care about all this old complaining stuff. We're here to
It is a
discuss
soap opera.
business in the county. And all this complaining and everything needs to go to somebody else.
The law enforcement committee.
Okay, well, with that being said, when I speak to the law enforcement committee, I want to be let speak, because nobody ever wants me to speak, and when it gets to my time, Mr. Evans himself has told me, "Sorry, we don't have time, meeting adjourned." You know, that's how I get treated at every single meeting. I have even been directed to go back and talk to Debbie Kyle and Lindy Whiting, which I'm not going to do. So if they want me to talk to them, they need to let me talk. I am a county employee as well. I should be able to talk and be respected in these meetings.
Okay, you gave the commissioners all the information.
I gave them all of this.
Let them research that information and,
Yeah.
all the questions.
The rest of it is just some posts that have been put up about me regarding the shelter and things like that. But the one about them holding me at gunpoint, telling people to hold me at gunpoint, that is urging people to hurt me and cause bodily harm, which that should not be taken lightly at all. If he was to put up something like that about our sheriff, that would not be taken lightly. I think something would be done, or a deputy or something like that. It's ridiculous. The very last page, the other things that it said I would like to address, these are things regarding the law enforcement meeting that I was not at, but after kind of hearing things and watching some of the video, these are some lies that were told, so I wanted to address them. So yeah, I agree, this is like a soap opera, I'm tired of it, but I have to defend myself on things that are being falsely said.
If you're being threatened, can we not do something about that? Sheriff?
I did, I called the sheriff and discussed it with him.
Because that should, no person that works for this county should be threatened on any whatsoever.
Is there? I don't know the outcome as of yet. I just know that I discussed it with him, and I've discussed it with another person about that, for him saying to hold me at gunpoint, or to better yet, take a baseball bat to me. That makes me not even feel comfortable doing my job. And I think that's what they're trying to get at, but that's why at this point too, I've told the sheriff, I'm not going on a call without a deputy. They're not gonna have the ability to lie about me or say I said anything without a deputy, because this is going way, way, way too far to tell somebody to hold me at gunpoint. I don't take that lightly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have an extra copy of that? We can get your sheriff, please.
Okay, next on the, citizen
Like I said,
forum,
there's a bunch
Rick
of stuff
Collier.
on here, so. Yeah, I think.